everybody, Tyrone the Guy 3 here, and welcome to Dragon Ball Super Reviews. Today we will be reviewing Episode 7. The episode is titled, How Dare You Hit My Bulma? Vegeta's Frustration, Mutation, Annihilation, Devastation. Okay, those other words weren't in there. It just stops at mutation. But anyway, this episode was full of action. It was definitely not a disappointment, but then again, well, I have mixed feelings on this episode, to be perfectly honest. So if you're wondering why I'm not as so hyped up and positive as I should be, because freaking the Z Warriors fought Beerus. And obviously, Beerus was going to swipe them off like they were nothing, just like in the movie. But there's some things I don't really agree with here, and there's some things I do agree with here, and it's just, I'm a mixed bag of emotions with this episode, mostly because this episode doesn't end when it's supposed to end. This episode ends more or less on a cliffhanger. And I also read the manga chapter of this episode, so I'm a little disappointed on several levels. But I see what they're trying to do, and they're trying to make the saga, the animated saga, long on purpose so that it won't surpass the manga, because the manga can end basically whenever it wants. The fact that it's even on par with the anime right now is nothing short of a miracle. But here's basically the plot summary, because it's not going to be a long plot summary, because everything that happens here happens in a very elongated version. Long story short, this is the part of the movie where, Majin Buu would have got his butt kicked, which happened last episode anyway, because he wouldn't share the pudding cups, but Buu comes back for more. Now, one thing I am curious of, Buu got knocked out relatively quickly in the movie. On this one, he actually lasts a little bit longer. He comes back, he's actually able to, he gets punched and hit by Beerus. Well, he gets hit by Beerus, and then he comes back ready for more, and then Beerus, hits him again, and he's out. But Buu actually gets in a lot of hits. Granted, none of them did anything, but he does get in some hits. And then he gets knocked out. Then Gotenks comes up, because Goten and Trunks fuse, and this is the first time we actually get to see Goten's new design, because instead of actually just doing the fusion in their regular, I call them Hawaiian boy outfits, instead of doing the fusion there, they actually, changed into their actual gis and did the fusion. And so we get to see Goten for the first time in his new design, without the blue sleeves on his gi. So that was interesting. And this is what I get disappointed at. In the movie, Gotenks went Super Saiyan, which that's not his strongest, but it was something. But then he got spanked, and that's how he lost. In the manga chapter of Dragon Ball Super, Gotenks goes all the way to Super Saiyan 3, charges at Beerus, and gets knocked away by Beerus. Okay. The anime Super, got the worst interpretation of this entire fight, because Gotenks is at normal state and is throwing a flurry of punches at Beerus, which aren't doing anything. And then Beerus grabs his arm, explains how bad it was that he wasn't able to get pudding, and just sort of thwacks him on his arm a lot, Beerus using his fingers to thwack at Gotenks' arm a lot until it's really swollen. Then Gotenks falls, and that's it. Then the scene gets elongated even longer because Bulma keeps asking Vegeta what's happening, who is he, what's going on. Then there's a whole lot of just nothing. It's a lot of Vegeta just staring up in fear. It's like, we already get it. You're afraid of Beerus. We got that in the last episode. So we figured you'd get over that this episode. But no, it's just them dead staring at Beerus for a long time. Then Piccolo, Tien, and Android 18 finally decide to go in. Now, I will give them this. They actually lasted a bit longer here than in the movie. Here's the downside to that, though. Most of it consisted of them hitting a flurry of attacks at Beerus, and then Beerus doesn't even stop them with chopsticks like he did in the movie. He stares at them. The very stare that Beerus gives them is enough to blow all three of them away for the rest of the fight. That's it too. They're down for the count. The stare knocked them away. That's disappointing. At least in the movie, he used the chopsticks to hit at Piccolo's pressure points and threw Tien and did a light tapped karate chop on Android 18 in the back. This time, the very stare that Beerus gives is what defeats them. Then Krillin and Yamcha think about going into the fight, and Piccolo's like, no, you guys are too weak, even though Tien just got blown away. So, no offense to Tien, it's just like, I really don't want to believe that Tien's so much more stronger than Yamcha and Krillin. So, after that point, Vegeta's just staring at Beerus. And then we finally get Gohan. Gohan finally decided to go in. And Hercule got knocked away because Boo got knocked away. Gohan finally decides to take off his glasses and go Ultimate. This pissed me off the most because, one, he's not even in his gi. In the manga, he's in his gi. When he charges at Beerus, he's in his Honey, I'm Home outfit. That's what I call it because it's a very, sitcom heavy, I'm your average husband at work outfit. So in the episode, he charges and he takes Boo's little head antenna. Beerus takes Boo's head antenna, picks up Boo by the head antenna, throws Boo at Gohan, and that's it. Gohan's done. We're in the Battle of Gods, Gohan got kicked. And then Gohan got a nice sleeper hold on Beerus for a second. For 1 second, Beerus was able to escape the sleeper hold, kick Gohan in the stomach, and then knocked him and Boo together, then threw them out of the way. That was way better in the movie. And in the manga, he just sort of gets tossed aside. So, that was a huge disappointment. The way that these Z Warriors lost to Beerus in this episode was the most disappointing that I've seen. And now, here's the part where you all obviously wanted to see. Well, Vegeta tries to fight Beerus, but he can't even lay a punch on him this time because he's so scared. Whereas in the movie, he tried to fight him, Beerus dodged the attacks, and then kicked Vegeta down to the ground. In this adaptation, Vegeta can't even lay a finger on him. Then Beerus comes down and is about to blast him. So now we get to the infamous slap scene. Bulma comes up and slaps Beerus. Now, the slap is way too dramatic. And I'm not talking about Bulma's. I'm talking about Beerus's. First of all, Beerus puts his backhand up, so it's a backhanded slap. And Vegeta's just like, don't do it. Beerus is all like, I'm gonna do it. And Vegeta's like, don't do it. And Beerus is like, I'm gonna do it. He doesn't say he's gonna do it, but Vegeta's just going, Beerus-sama, Beerus-sama, like he's telling him not to do it. And Beerus is just holding his hand out. And they keep that going forever. And then the slap doesn't even happen in one clean slap. It happens frame by frame to make it as dramatic as possible. I don't like this. Sometimes things need to be dramatic for dramatic effect. This wasn't necessary to be dramatic. All they had to do was make Beerus slap Bulma. I don't see why this had to be so theatrical this time, which is ironic. The theatrical movie isn't theatrical. Beerus just slaps Bulma on the ground shortly after Bulma slaps him. So, after that, Bulma slowly falls and then gets knocked away. Then Goten and Trunks quickly catch her. And then Vegeta, instead of just getting mad and going, how dare you hurt my Bulma, and powering up, he goes through this whole him holding his left eye deal and clenching the ground, and then finally his pupils are gone and he transforms Super Saiyan 2, only he's got way more aura. And for those of y'all who were like, he's gonna turn Super Saiyan 3, he's gonna turn no, he doesn't, and he doesn't need to. Super Saiyan 3 is unnecessary. He would have wasted too much power anyway. It's not necessary. Vegeta, if anything, increased his base form. This is Vegeta's actual power going up, with an addition to the Super Saiyan 2 strength given from the technique. Anyway, that ends up happening, and then the episode ends. So now we're left on a cliffhanger, which means that next episode we'll get the infamous Vegeta versus Beerus fight. I'm guessing they wanted to devote the episode to this fight, but overall this episode ends. The next episode we'll be seeing will be the episode Goku steps up last chance from Beerus. I gotta say that this episode was okay. I say this only because the Z Warriors got beat in a very lame fashion as compared to the movie counterpart. But there was some parts where they actually did last a pretty decently long time. Overall, I gotta say there was more to be desired from this episode, but it did get the point across, but some parts were too elongated. So with that said, I'll see you all then everybody. Tyrone the God 3 out.